Welcome back. A new book gives insight into the art of outsmarting cybercriminals and protecting your data and wallet. Former FBI counterintelligence operative Eric O'Neill lays that out in his book, Spies, Lies, and Cybercrime. Here is some of his conversation with our Major Garrett.
Eric, I saw a statistic in there that I want you to explain to my audience. In 2028, losses to cybercrime could total $30 trillion. That's the size of the U.S. economy today.
Exactly. And in fact, if you just look at the immense growth in cybercrime, and this is dark web cybercrime, and forgetting all the other stuff that's on the dark web, but just dark web cybercrime, it's already the third largest economy on earth. So it goes US, China, and it would go Germany and then Japan, but it's the dark web if it had a GDP, and it's growing at such an incredible rate that yes, by then it could be around $30-some thousand.
$30 trillion.
$30 trillion.
Why is it growing? And why isn't it within the capability of this government, that government, or individuals to slow it down?
Well, there's a difficulty in arresting it. Individuals aren't taking the steps they need to take to stop cybercrime. Companies aren't able to stop them. In fact, they're just investing in insurance because they know they're getting attacked. Cybersecurity hasn't quite caught up yet, and governments are completely unable to stop it because most of the cyber criminals are sitting in places where there's no extradition. And the most important reason is that cyber criminals have learned from spies. In fact, they've hired them. So intelligence officers who are the best in the business at stealing are now helping cyber criminals get better at it. And that has created this explosion in cybercrime.
Hollywood and the news media, whenever we talk about hackers, we will revert to B-roll of fingertips on a
keyboard.
You argue that that is the wrong visual guide.
Absolutely. What does every one of those Hollywood spy hackers and cyber criminals say every time they hit that last key? I'm in, right? Into what? What I like to say is that's magic. It's so silly. And it makes every single person in cybersecurity and cybercrime groan. It probably makes the cyber criminals laugh because it's this misconception of how bad guys are stealing our information, our critical data, our identities, everything that matters to us, right? They're not attacking your computer. They're attacking you. They're fooling you. They're tricking you using the same techniques that have been used by spies for thousands of years.
Which are?
Which are deception, infiltration, impersonation, confidence schemes, exploitation, and finally, destruction.
And even someone as capable as you, as experienced as you, who's written about it, who's lived it, victim.
Yes, I mean, I've been doing this for cybersecurity for 25-some years, and before that, FBI for years. I would think that I'm pretty hard-nosed and could spot a scam. But no, I fell for a great one, this cybercrime group who was brilliant. They completely tricked me by creating their own speaking ecosystem and making me think that I'd just been invited to speak at this exclusive event out in South Africa. And I own it. I put it right in the front of my book. I talk about that story on stage because what I want to say is if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Yeah, I bought the ticket, a $10,000, first class, non-refundable ticket. Now, and it's real interesting. Before they launched the scam to get me to send them money, right, they had me buy the ticket because it reinforces in your mind something we call confirmation bias. This continual confirmation in your mind that something you know is not true must be true. Because otherwise, I'm embarrassed. I just bought a $10,000 ticket and got scammed. And I really wanted it to be true. I wanted to go speak in Cape Town in this beautiful church, 10,000 seat audience. And I just wanted to believe it was true until finally I realized this isn't true. And my heart fell. I did get the ticket refunded. I was real lucky. But if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone.
So what are basics that someone who is not as experienced, not as trained as you need to think about?
Well, what I say in my book is you have to think like a spy. You have to know all the ways that the attackers are coming after us so that you have that ability to see the punch coming at you. And then you have to act like a spy hunter. So you have to know how to defend yourself once you see it. And some of those ways are, the first number one way is don't fall for urgency. What cyber criminals want to do is catch you up in a scheme that's incredibly clever, but they want to push you. They don't want you to have time to stop and think. It's too good to be true. It probably is too good to be true. You didn't win the lottery. Some prince isn't sending you their fortune. Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie didn't just fall in love with you and need help, right? If it's too good to be true, stop and question it. And most importantly, be really careful what you trust online, because that's the way that they reach you. Because we're online so much right now, we've made ourselves open to this.
You can watch our entire conversation on your favorite podcast platforms.